Okay, hello everybody. I am here with Maxwell Pipkin, the winner of the Valkyrie's Vault. Is that the name of the store?
Yeah, it's
Oh, thank
Valkyrie's
God.
Vault.
Okay. Round one local championship. He played biollante on the water symbol, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into it. The first thing I want to ask about is that when this character got revealed, I think everybody was immediately kind of, oh no, the sky is falling. There's a new prison deck. But so far, both in testing and we haven't seen too much of this character, but in events, we haven't really seen that, and this deck definitely doesn't really look like it's trying to do that. So we've seen people talk about like more of a mid-range plan. So I wanted to ask, like, what kind of deck is this? What is it trying to do? How's it trying to play to win the game?
When I first saw Biollante got revealed, I was really hyped because my favorite character was actually good. This is my favorite Godzilla character. So, it's always a good sign when your favorite character is actually playable. Saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's just a toolbox. I'm totally going to pick that up." I've played so many other toolbox decks in the past. I top 16 Gen Con 2023, the last one with Recovery Girl.
Okay.
And then at Collinsville, I played a Momo 3 toolbox deck. I've just been playing toolbox decks forever. I was known at one point as the Yu Hojo guy because I played this really aggressive play tongue whip every turn deck.
Oh, that's sick.
And then I saw Biolante. I was like, this character's so hype. I just want
Yeah,
to play
it's
throws.
that's your
And then
jam.
I tried all throws and it didn't work at all
Okay.
because throws never kill anybody. And in this format, you kind of have to kill people by like turn 6-ish.
Mhm.
So the deck was constructed with the goal of having just enough defense to like outlast the Titan of Terrors and all of those decks in the room while also being able to actually kill people.
Okay.
The most important card for that was Acidic Sludge. That card is nuts.
But yeah, this
I
card is I've been consistently very impressed with this one.
Yeah, it's tongue whip. It's kind of tongue whip again. It's not quite as good, but it's really good. But there's a lot of in my opinion, it might be one of the hardest decks I've ever played. This Biolante list. There's so many intricate choices that you have to do on yours and your opponent's turn in terms of surviving versus killing them. My sideboard, as you see, isn't very like refined,
But yeah, that was something I definitely wanted to ask about.
but there was some cards that I was getting day of tournament, like two of my copies of Godzilla versus Biollante, one of my ref juries I traded for at the tournament.
Okay.
So I had to change my deck list 4 times.
Oh wow.
But
Okay.
the whole the whole list is all about just maintaining tempo. Once you lose tempo, especially in this format with Titan of Terrors doing their Titan of Terror thing, it's just really game over. I also I'll talk about it more in my bracket run, but being able to GR just like 4 damage is really important, I think, the cheerful teens are very good at.
Yeah,
I
I think.
tested with too cheerful for a long time and I was like, it's just not enough. You have to find the card. It's
Mhm.
so important. Ref Jury is also one of those cards that if you don't find like at least one copy of, your loop doesn't work with heavy feet,
Yeah.
which heavy feet's somewhat inconsistent as it is.
But
So
yeah, I kind of got the same feeling when I was playing this deck, and I see you're also. I kind of started doing the same thing where I was playing like you got the falling heel strikes and the invisible infiltrations. I'm guessing those were mostly used on cheerful teens.
yeah, I'm gonna be honest. There it was a lot of the times just unflipping Weapon Clash because Weapon Clash is a dumb broken card that says ramp one.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
It it's also really good just to for invisible infiltration specifically. You just commit your Godzilla versus Biolante, clear something, and then ready it back
And
up.
then ready it after it resolves and comes back. Okay, yeah.
Because we're playing a five-hander, there's games where I won't see my cheerful teens in the first 3 turns, and I'm just trying to get either cards in my discard pile or some form of control setup in my stage.
Gotcha. Okay.
But that's like the core concepts of the deck. There's some cards I think I've switched out since then just for either consistency purposes. I like the card that were in my sideboard and my main board more.
Hmm.
The card's just not that good.
Yeah,
I'm
like
starting to I'm
uh,
starting to get there with Loop the Loop. I'm not sure about that card.
okay, yeah. I from my experience, I think loop to loop is really good. And then another thing I wanted to ask you about is that first of all, your attack lineup has no five diffs, and you're
Five just
not
suck.
notably not playing acid screen or growing grass.
So in my opinion, 5 just suck. I originally was
Okay.
like, I can switch battle lore release for acid screens, but they do the exact same job
Hmm.
basically, except one doesn't have deflect 4 and one gets one more damage.
Hmm.
I also didn't have enough acid screens, which is a different problem. I was I could have gotten them, like it wouldn't have been that hard to trade or borrow them, but I was just fine with my 3 battle auras.
Okay.
Uh and then growing grass is certainly a throw of all time. It doesn't get that big without cheerful teening on offense, which
Hmm.
is a very fishy thing to do for
Oh, okay.
what I've found. I usually only wanted to cheerful teen on offense on the last one
Gotcha.
because I think those two cards are great if we're going to turn 15.
Okay.
But if I'm going to turn 15, I'm doing something horribly wrong in this deck.
Okay. Okay.
There's I don't think I think if your opponent hasn't scooped it up by turn 15 and you're playing a deck like this, something either you're about to lose the game immediately because you're facing a Deku or like a Sasha 2 or something, or you're just like sitting back and just playing with your food for no reason.
Okay.
The only game that was like that for me was I was facing a Zeke 1, and there's no reason I should ever attack him, basically. Just kill his backups.
Mhm.
Which I'm kind of known for playing Zeke 1, which is
Yeah.
funny because it was one of my teammates on my deck. But yeah, that's like the core concept of the deck. I think just the 4 diff package is just so much better. I think originally I had the ice swords in the main, but most of the 5 diffs, especially on like water, the attune symbols have so many good 4 diffs, and then water itself just doesn't have too many absolutely crazy 5 diffs, except like ice sword,
Okay.
which is kind of hard to say I want to use my momentum on that when I have biollante and acidic sludge already.
Yeah, that's I was when you mentioned acidic sludge before, I was going to ask if there was any sort of tension there. So that's okay.
Yeah. Acidic sludge barely ever got used for the momentum
For the
because there
second
was
blitz.
there was rarely any time I had an extra momentum.
That's fair. Yeah, that's mostly been my experience. Is that I mean, obviously you're most of the time using two per turn cycle. So
Yeah,
okay.
but that's like the core of the attack lineup. Shoulder toss is really funny because you get to give it -1 damage and then you get to draw a card,
Yeah,
and then ready your Godzilla
that's
versus Biollante.
I love those. I love those cool little edge cases like that where you use something that's not necessarily for its intended purpose and it still works out really well. Where instead of your the best mode on this card is obviously when it draws a card and readies something, but on face your opponent can just not do that. So being able to pretty much guarantee that really gets you that resource advantage you were talking about, like staying ahead on tempo.
Yeah, it says the throw keyword, which is really good when I'm putting it up to 9 damage after a bunch of stuff, like especially Ray Fillet, which
Mhm.
we can talk more about Ray Fillet in this deck because I could talk about how Ray Fillet impacts this deck in like for 10 minutes straight. Because so Ray Fillet is one of the main ways I was killing people. Because originally you see it and it's a 4 diff backup, but you don't see on it is one that it's invincible.
Yeah.
Basically, it has 4 health, but it also says after this backup is attacked, your rival adds the top card of your deck to their card pool, which also says -1 damage to all their attacks for the rest of the turn.
Yep.
And with all the DR in the deck, he basically never dies. And but most of the time, I wasn't building him in on my turn, I was cheating him in with Desperate Plea, which ended up being one of the best cards in my deck, and
Okay.
there's a reason that Uncommon's like $5 from
Yeah.
AOT too.
Yeah.
Also because nobody opened that set, but that's a different problem. But Rayfalay allows the kill turns to actually, like, kill people without being on all throws, which never kills people,
Mhm.
and you don't have to rely on, like, massive loop-the-loops after you've cheerful teamed 14 times by unflipping it and unflipping it. Instead, you could just figure out a way to get this Rayfalay in your stage and just murder him dead with it,
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
and I didn't run into many decks that had really strong backup hate specifically.
Yeah, I think
I
right now
mean,
that's gonna be pretty sparse.
yeah, Titan of Terror is side and activate, but siding and activate just to kill
Yeah,
Rayfalay or
there
Kami, it
that's
just feels
already
really bad.
committing a lot to kill this card that you can then just pick up and build again.
Yeah, just loop it every turn. Yeah.
Okay. And on I another thing is that you got four fast friendships and four end the cycles. So this is like I think in general when people are looking at this deck, they'll just to kind of biollante as a whole, they're not really expecting to be blocking that much. But you definitely between the desperate plays and all the speed hate, you're definitely interested in blocking multiple moves a turn.
Well, it's usually one. Those are just to make sure I get through my early game
Okay, okay,
because before you find the cheerful team, you're really vulnerable and you just have to block. There's also matchups
gotcha.
where you just have to block. I was facing a Titan of Terror, and they threw a Shin Hashigeki with like
Yeah.
17 power tokens on it,
Yep.
and I fast friendshipped it down to a 3 mid, and I blocked with a Kami on a 6. It was
Yeah.
beautiful. Because it just had nothing going on it in terms of speed,
Hmm. Yeah, I think
which I
that's
think is
one of the big ways to kind of when people talk about Titan of Terror and the Shin Hashogeki stun your whole board out. That's one of the best ways to get around it is to put any amount of minus speed on it because that deck isn't really giving any speed. It's all damage.
yeah. I mean, if they want speed, they have to do Roar of the Kaiju stuff or that one ultra rare. The I don't remember what it's called.
Oh, the
The
crushing
sweeping
impact.
crushing impact. Yeah, that
Yeah.
one. That stupid card. Oh, I don't understand why they printed the power package like that, but it's all just so self-referential and just wins the game.
Yeah, it is. It is very from plenty of experience. It is quite strong.
Yeah. One thing I found a lot though with especially end the cycle, it's a low block, and those are kind of scarce in my deck.
Oh
My
yeah, so you've got
my block
15
zones
low
are
blocks.
yeah, my block zones are mathematical because there's about 300 high attacks in standard, 400 mid attacks, and 200 low attacks. Let's not look at how many of each get played, but there was multiple times where I haven't checked a syndicate or it's face down in my stage because I built it,
Hmm.
and or I just like flipped it for battle war or whatever. And multiple times it was just like the two low block was just what saved me.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Yeah,
So,
that
but
is definitely
past
one.
friendships spam.
Yes, yes, for sure. It's definitely one of the better ones right now as far as like I think people are massively undervaluing the ability to block stuff early right now.
Yeah, blocking's always been really important in my opinion. I was I when I played at Gen Con, I was playing blocking cards in my recovery girl because I didn't want to get blown out by
Hmm.
one big attack.
Yeah.
And that almost happened to me then, and it happened to me in this tournament where I almost got blown out by one big attack.
Okay.
So I think building a deck to not block just doesn't make sense, especially if it's a control deck.
Hmm.
I get that you want to focus on your DR package, but if you don't have that second avenue, then you'll just end up losing.
Yeah, especially like right now you've got Titan of Terror, King of the Monsters, and Bridget are all fairly popular aggressive decks that all get to play Chinatown and are all playing Chinatown.
Yeah. I think Bridget should be a good matchup. You just have to get through one Chinatown.
Yeah,
Um,
Bridget specifically because even with the builds that are much more able to consistently get the face downs out of their pool, you're still able to. There's at least going to be
ye-
one there probably.
yeah. And then King of the Monsters is rough. I was happy none showed up. We don't really have Godzilla players in Indiana.
Mm.
It's a beautiful thing. We have Titan Terror players, but there's like one local King of the Monsters player who's played King of the Monsters and only plays King of the Monsters. It was hard to convince him to play any AOT cards at all, actually. But it was we. I got to dodge that matchup, and that matchup's I think really hard for Biollante because Biollante has to stabilize.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of way back in Albuquerque, I played Hanji 2.
Oh
And
yeah,
I kind of had the same experience where it's like, well, normally I can at least kind of skirt through these early turns by saying -3 on all your moves. But when -3 only brings it down to 5 or 6, that's still like 3 hits and I'm dead.
yeah. That's why I enjoy my fat 36 health on this
Yes,
character.
yeah, you definitely have a lot
It's
more of a cushion.
it's also like in Zeke where you have to get through those early turns, and people know how to punch backups, or at least the good players
Yeah,
do.
people are learning that you can just punch the backups.
Well, I mean, I think most like high level players, once they read my character, said, "Huh, I'm supposed to kill this."
Yeah.
And if you look at like my stream match against Wub, yeah, I the backups were dead. The
Yes. Yeah,
backups were
I
getting
do
killed,
remember that from Louisville.
and it didn't matter if I killed his because he just blew us up, and I didn't get
Yeah.
anything off. And I think it it shows in things like that where you have to have a plan two. Either your game plan one has to be strong enough where it will win you at least 80% of your games, or you have to have a backup plan like this deck does with its blocking, or just like killing them dead with three battle auras in a row. Wait,
Okay.
or just low overload, like rolling movement into invisible infiltration, sludge, sludge, just kills people.
Yeah, you do, and being able to kind of the same thing that I've experienced playing Titan of Terror, being able to tutor for like if you catch your opponent like maybe blocking mid on two of your lows, and you say, oh well, let me go get another low. You can
Yeah,
really
it's
having the tutor to really catch them off guard on the zones is kind of a. It's not something you think of when you're necessarily putting together your first draft, but after you've gotten those couple games, you really catch that. It's like this is something I can do consistently.
yeah. This deck was like a third or fourth draft. Like there wasn't too much change in between them, except one was like all throws, and then this one is obviously very low on the throw count.
Mhm.
But in in there, I always try to see ways around playing the game like a normal person, which is why I have almost all highs and lows with some mix-up zones.
Mhm.
At I mean, I played Recovery Girl, so everything's a throw there.
Yeah.
And even then, I was running throws just like main board in my deck, just because I sometimes I didn't want to destroy the two foundations for it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to keep up that wall.
Mhm.
Or when I was playing my Momo deck, I had to figure out how to kill people with that character. One of the hardest things in the game, by the way. That character is whew. Happy I don't have to try to do that again. But I was playing throws with one of my favorite cards ever printed, Carbo Loading.
Okay, yeah, I do know that
I
one.
I love Carbo Loading. I wish there was more characters that gained a bunch of health so I could play recuperation time.
Yeah, that one's
Just
cool.
I love gaining and I love gaining health and then losing health and then gaining health and then losing health, or
Mhm.
just losing it. I mean I played Hojo. I played that super aggressive Hojo deck,
Yeah, and he like
and
he cares about going to like basically desperation, right? It's what 10 or less, or
it's 10 or less, and he has 27 big ones. So you got to figure out how to burn through 17 health in one turn, which
okay.
did happen. Brute strength was beautiful,
Oh
but
yeah,
I
the
think,
okay, yep.
but if you look at the deck, there's a lot of cards that have like two modes, like weapon clash, for example. Usually it's used for that ramp, but sometimes it would just become a way to either get out of deadlock or give a bunch of minus damage.
Mhm.
Where something like even Jury, I used it on offense once or twice just so I could get that another
Another face
either put
down.
my another face down or just put my move to 4 after they've DR'd it.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Alrighty. I think
But
I
yeah,
think
I think
the Oh, go ahead.
I just think the way the the deck is so extremely skill intensive in terms of because any deck that says pick up 2 cards if you want to spend that momentum or just pick up 1 will always be really taxing, especially when it's a 5-hander and you have to weigh picking attacks up on the enemy's on the opponent's turn versus picking up defensive pieces, or if you can pick up foundations, or you can pick up attacks to kill them.
Mhm.
What foundations can you get? Can you get heavy feet online? That's one big thing that happened a lot. Do I need Chinatown in this matchup? Do I need more foundations for like Weapon Clash? Is Godzilla vs. Biollante going to be my win condition because that card has Deadlock Enhance on it for some reason?
Yeah,
We
that
passing the
the
torch needed a
deadlock
Deadlock
text on that card
Enhance,
is absolutely brutal.
and it just I think the deck overall just shows a player's expression so incredibly much, but also you're most likely thinking more than your opponent while you're playing the deck,
Okay, yeah.
unless you're unless they're playing something super difficult too. I think there's there's a few decks at the top of the meta that don't require too much thinking. Just like but for example, one of my teammates, we've played this matchup a million times. Mothra Biollante
Oh,
is
okay.
is one
Yeah.
miserable matchup to play. Um, but also the way I have to maneuver my deck is so different than when I'm testing against our Sasha 2 player
Okay.
or our Shin Godzilla player.
Gotcha.
The things I need to prioritize are so incredibly different.
Mhm.
In Biollante, you just have to be able to adapt, which is very canonical for the character. You have to adapt to any situation.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think just being able to having that tutor every turn and being like, what are my options? Every once in a while, it's like, should I wait to see if I check something better and stuff like that. There's obviously a lot of thought that goes into every time you even think about pressing that enhance.
Yeah, and then there's sometimes where you just say, I have to use this ability just to get another face down in my card pool to DR.
Hmm. Okay. I think the last main question that I had about the deck list is you have four revered hermit in the sideboard, and I'm wondering like my final round list had three weapon clash in the sideboard, which makes objectively makes zero sense. But I did it
Correct.
for a specific reason, and I was wondering, is there a specific reason that that is here, or like a matchup that you were expecting or that you were worried about?
So, when I'm at college, which is where I do most of my testing, because my teammates also go to the same college as me, like some of them. I I don't have too much time to play the game, so I I saw the card and I went, huh, that seems interesting in Biolante for a really grindy control game. So I said, I'm gonna throw 4 of it in my sideboard, and you know what? Throughout the tournament, we'll test it.
Okay.
It's just another local, right? And so I brought it in a few times. There was a few matchups that where I didn't really want it. I just needed to find my control pieces more.
Mhm.
But Revered Hermit is such a nuts card in this character.
I
It
it is I have been playing with it, and I would agree that it is quite good.
it makes it so you don't have to get rid of your good cards with your Biolante ability.
Hmm.
Because that's one of the worst parts about Biolante is that you have to shove something in your card pool if you have something. Revered Hermit makes it so you can not do that. It's basically flip a foundation to
To
keep your
pick up
best card
this
in your
two
hand.
mid block, and then you just shove it in right away.
Yeah, there was a few times where I also just Yahtzee'd like Ray Fillet off the top with that or weapons clash, and and
Oh,
I
and
just
then you
unflicted
unflip
on
it with falling heel strike. Okay, okay, yeah, that
yeah,
sounds
and then or even invisible infiltration, and they just die from it.
yeah.
But that card was mostly because I couldn't test it long enough, and I said it's
Okay,
probably
that's
good in
fair.
a few matchups. It's probably not that good in a few other ones, but
Okay,
I feel like I could have cited it in every game and it would have done something.
okay,
So in my next version, it is definitely in the main board.
okay, okay, okay. Alrighty, and I think that's pretty much all that I have for the deck list. If you want to talk about your matchups.
Oh yes, I would love to. So I'll just go in chronological order
Okay.
because I like doing that. We'll go round one. I fought a Sungju, and it was the Shadow Monarch package, which is the good stuff.
Hmm.
And it was relatively easy. They had slow starts both games, and I had pretty fast starts. They're also a newer player, so I was able just to control the board. The problem with Sung Jin Woo is your attacks kind of you don't get any real damage until the final step. And against Biollante, you can't wait till turn like 5 or 6 to start doing damage
Hmm.
because I have 36 big health on my character.
Yeah, I feel
So
like. Oh, go ahead.
trying to chew through that is takes a while. You don't usually just one shot me.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
I
think
feel like Shadow Monarch is definitely a deck that like in general it can go over top of these mid-rangey decks, but it also suffers from if somebody else can play that slower game better, it really kind of flounders.
yeah, I think Sung Jin Woo, I think the deck is I think it has its merits. But I also think it's one of the most overrated characters in the game because it does nothing half the time. Like
Yeah,
just being able to play
I can definitely agree with that.
it gets to nuke one attack, and I had a in a different tournament. I had an LC where I was playing Ed Shot and I was facing a Shadow Monarch. They nuked one attack and I threw 5 more, and it
Yeah.
just they just can't defend against that
Hmm.
because they only have that one nuke.
Yep.
But overall, that first round went pretty smooth sailing for me. And then I fought a Titanosaur, my first of the 3 Titanosaurs that I fought at this tournament. His list was practically a pauper list, so
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
have much trouble getting through it. If you look at the deck list on Metaverses, there is like 12 different attacks in this list. It's a pile. There's like brutal bite to duplicate his power tokens.
Let's check it out. See if it
There
will
was
click.
a yeah,
Okay.
there was
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, I see what you mean.
there was a few times where he also just like made the wrong choice about not spending his power tokens,
Mm.
which comes from like either posturing. I love doing that because I'm a jury deck. I can just like put my hand at the front of my card pool, and they just always expect that I have the jury in hand.
Hmm.
It's beautiful, and but this deck just couldn't get over me. It
Hmm.
was a bunch of 5 damage moves. There was a few city rampage forms at the start of the turn. Not to play. Not to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just like an actual throw move. I think trying not to just murder them dead with your regular 5 discs.
Yeah,
Instead, playing this.
I've gone on record being a hater of City Rampage and Titan of Terror.
Yeah, it just doesn't do anything. And then if you look at like the foundation lineup of this deck, it's kind
Yeah,
of all over the place.
I did see that as well. Yeah.
We're massive sizing it in a 6-hander who has only 28 health.
Hmm.
Only 28 health, you know?
Yeah.
And it just doesn't do enough. We're running high guard and low guard, which I mean can be good in the right decks, but I feel like there was better stuff to do.
Hmm. Okay.
And this deck overall was just pretty easy for me just to punch through.
I gotcha.
The defense was neglectful. The offense was able to be stopped. But
Okay.
then my round 3 was another Titan Terror, and this is my one loss of the tournament. And this guy is playing 4 Black Abyss in his Titan Terror deck, also 4 City Rampage.
Mm,
And
okay.
he went
It's
second both games, and both in game 1 he checks his Unyielding Force on his build turn.
oh yeah.
So he just scales right over top of my head, which is nice. You know, it happens. It happens. And then game 2, he checks his Genghis Frog on turn 1, and I just lose the game.
Yeah.
Just those free cards are just like unbeatable for Biollante. I mean, there's a world in which I lived through them, but his deck was also so incredibly offensive that I just died immediately.
Yeah, really just kind of ran you over before you could really get online.
Yeah, it's just there's a certain point where you just can't do much about what the opponent's doing, and that was
Gotcha.
the game.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then my round 4 was against my teammate Gavin. He was playing Shin Godzilla. Uh, Biollante versus Shin Godzilla is certainly a matchup of all time. So Shin Godzilla is like quite possibly like 3 or 4 from the set. This character's nuts.
Yeah.
He gives a lot of he destroys a lot of foundations. And most of my team's lists end up coming from me. So this is my Shin Godzilla list with a
Okay.
few alterations because of decks that shared cards because we're all in one big group.
Gotcha. Okay.
So like there's no weapon if you look at the deck, there's no weapon clash because
Oh, because
well,
you were using those.
they're
Okay.
in my Biolatte deck. So usually we just go on like that first come first serve basis. But this deck certainly I was playing it at locals today because we just spun a wheel to see which decks we were playing.
Okay.
And I one of my teammates got my Biolante deck and we were testing it out before the tournament. And I actually kept him at 2 foundations almost the entire game.
Okay.
It
Yeah. Yeah, I
was
can definitely see
it
that.
was absolutely miserable for them. And when I was playing against Gavin, I didn't have those struggles. That's one of the times I was able to see like, wow, my Biolante deck's just like really hard to pilot if you don't have reps on it.
Hmm.
And I was able to hold him at like 2 to 4 foundations until I just killed him. But against Gavin, I would build up to like 6 to 8 foundations, and then I would just kill him. I just throw a bunch of attacks, which I think
Yeah.
a lot of Biolante players are really scared to do because
Hmm.
it's risky and they might just die. But I think sometimes you have to take those risks,
Yeah.
especially into something like Shin Godzilla. He only has 23 health. That's not that hard to chew through.
Yeah, I think in my experience playing against this deck, like the games get much worse for you if you're trying to poke them down because every turn you give them to keep blowing up stuff, that health gain adds up really fast.
Yeah, and Gavin's also one of the newer players, so he doesn't quite understand like fully understand risk reward in the game because this card game's hard
Yeah.
and trying to play especially a deck like Shin Godzilla, which is pretty intricate overall. Like knowing when you need to build, when to actually use your abilities that blow
Yeah, I
stuff
think
up.
I think this like in general the debuild decks kind of like you can do so well with them, but I think to really pilot them meaningfully well, you do have to have a pretty solid understanding of what your deck is capable of and what your opponent's deck is capable of.
Yeah, his previous decks for tournaments had been Endeavor 3 a bunch because that character used to be really simple and really good. You can also build it in that deck was so cheap building
Hmm.
Endeavor 3. Like you could build a popper list and you could do like top 4 in a tournament with a popper list of that character. It was so nuts how I miss those days. But then he also played Recovery Girl because he likes ruining other people's fun. Which is when he heard Shin Godzilla, he was so in. Life gain and we're just walling people out. So he just wanted to do that, and he had a bunch of fun playing the deck. And I think he's gonna stick on it, get more reps, and hopefully, like by the time season 2 LCs come out, and we still don't have any new product, uh, hopefully we'll have more people placed in that top 8 area for my team.
Okay.
We did have a good conversion rate of 3 out of the 8 top 8, but
Oh, okay, yeah.
we had I think 6 people there. And if you would have made me bet money on who would have missed, it would not have been top 8 at Worlds, Aiden Lecoyer. But here we are. My round 5 was me IDing against another one of my teammates. He was playing Mothra, Braden.
Mhm.
So I didn't have to play that matchup. I
Yeah,
feel
I
really
figured
com-
this one was an idea.
I feel really confident in it. The match probably would have ended approximately 1-1.
Yeah.
Uh, because those games do not go quickly. But this was also one of those decks that we just it's a charge package, which I really like. Audio Reverberations. That card is nuts. One of the most underused cards I think in standard right now.
Okay,
The
yeah.
card by
I see
its
what you mean.
the card by itself is just plain out good. And in a deck like this where you want that value, also it's like a 7 low for 7
Mhm.
after something gets blocked. That's like the thinking of like too slow. It's a 6 mid for 6 flash catch, and then it stuns 1 after it deals damage.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an
And then
interesting
you
one for sure.
yeah, that deck was that deck is so cool. But we're on to the top 8. So top 8 was really interesting. We had two Titans of Terrors, ones that just dropped the second top 8 started because he did not want to be there. That's the one that beat me in Swiss, Eric.
Oh, okay.
But then we also had a Zeke, a Mikasa 1, a Ghidorah 2, the Mothra I ID'd against me, and a Hedorah, which we'll get to the Hedorah later. My first round was against my teammate Deacon. We played. We he didn't want to keep playing, so he just gave me the win. But we played a game anyway, and game 1 took actually 10 minutes. He rolled right over me.
Okay.
With he just found the Zeke nuts and did the Zeke nuts thing, and then game 2 actually took an hour
Oh,
because
wow.
we were waiting on other rounds, so we decided to play. And I punched his backups for maybe 20 turns in a row.
Yeah, that checks out.
There was 0 actual universes being played there. And that match was like, yeah, this deck can just do that sometimes. In a real like tournament setting, like if I had to do, I would have probably punched backups for 80 minutes, and then we would have I would have won by tiebreakers.
Yeah.
uh because our system says 36 is better than 34.
Yeah.
And also I have a lot easier ways of playing attacks without transforming because I don't
Mhm.
have to transform.
Yeah.
Uh then I fought Sridhar from um and that's Trading Post, right? Team
Yeah,
Trading
yeah,
Post? Yeah.
he owns the trading post.
Okay. That makes sense. I his deck it was very his deck was slower than the other Titan of Terrors. It was It's still wearing City Rampage. Still, that card did not do well at all. I have become the biggest City Rampage hater in Titan to Terror decks known to man after this weekend, or I guess last weekend.
Yeah.
But game 1 against them, we both built to like 15 foundations, and this is where he had the Shin Hashigeki that he put like 17. power tokens on, and he left me with one ready foundation and my character.
Oh, okay.
And we're both at 15 foundations. He didn't use a single deadlock enhance, which I
Mm.
noticed.
Oh,
And
okay.
I went, oh, because if he would have used his deadlock throughout his turn, the Godzilla versus Biolantes, which you would usually think of not using into the Biolante deck,
Yeah, but that
because
that basically that +1 speed.
yeah, that +1 speed ramping throughout the turn would have just made that completely unblockable for me.
Mhm.
There was also one time where I invisible infiltration his natural cover, and neither of us remembered to build it back in.
Oh.
So we're going into game two, and we see the natural cover, and we both look at each other. We go, "Oh, that one was supposed to be shuffled back into the deck."
Oh, man.
Or well, it was supposed to be built back
It
into
was
the
supposed to
stage.
come back, yeah.
Yeah, I had like three more attacks in hand, so it wouldn't have ended up mattering on that
Oh,
final
okay.
kill
Yeah, I get you.
on my final kill turn. But one of my favorite cards in his deck was Stroke the Big Tree. That card is so hyping in Titan of Terror.
Yeah, that's one I definitely wish I could find room for. I think it's very cool.
It's basically a throw if you really
Yeah.
want it to be, but it also gets you your attention for taking three,
Mhm.
which did not come out very well into Biollante because all my attacks are like for seven.
Yeah.
It's like my key spot. And then the other game I built in, if I remember correctly, I built in Ray Fillet with Desperate Plea and just killed him on turn four ish, which
Okay.
is we did this building war and then kill turn didn't do 36 and then it was the backswing game.
Gotcha.
There was a few cards that he didn't see, which would have been really nice, like his referee juries. Spirit Sword Ultimate's really good into Biolante,
Yeah.
but like he found his Godzilla versus Biolante, which ends up being really good in the Godzilla versus Biolante matchup.
Yeah.
Ironic how that works, right? Because it lets you clear the Cheerful Teen card,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
which is just which is just nuts. And overall, it was a really well fought game. Both games were really close. I was absolutely losing my mind because it's 10 p.m. ish when we're playing this game, and I've been playing universes since like one is when I started warming up with my teammate, or like
Oh, yeah,
noon was
okay.
when I
Yeah.
started warming up with my teammates. We took an hour and a half to get the bracket working because
Yep. Yeah, we had a
UG.
similar problem at final round, and I
Yeah,
know in general people were having problems with the UGN.
yeah. I think we were the only ones who fired on the original bracket.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
but UGN is the worst and needs
It
fixed.
it sucks.
It's but yeah, we got there. He got to go back to go drive back to Michigan. That's unfortunate that it was like a 4 hour drive back, and we started an hour and a half late.
Yeah.
But then my teammate Braden gets knocked out by the Hedora, and I'm because Mothra Hedora is not great. Mothra doesn't like throws very much,
Yeah.
especially all the throws.
Mhm.
So I just played this Hedora deck, and one thing I learned is this is my easiest matchup I had all day.
Yeah, I can
Uh,
definitely believe that.
this character should never hit me unless I want them to,
Mhm.
because I give minus like 4 damage on face, and their moves don't get past 4 damage a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I basically just cruised along both the finals games. I think I killed on turn five both games.
Yeah,
It was
plus
just the regular Biolante experience, just attack, pick up two more attacks, attack, attack.
yeah, and
With
the
some,
response is kind of like on Hedora is kind of a double-edged sword where you give him an extra card in your card pool, but now all your moves have 1 damage extra.
yeah, I think I don't think the matchup's essentially great for Hedora.
Yeah.
um, I think there was a lot of misplays that went on too, which it happens. I think once we got that late in the tournament, most people were kind of out of it.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of universes to play in one day.
It's a lot of universes, and not only is it a lot of universes, it's also that we started an hour and a half late, and people thought we they were already going to be on their way home
Yeah.
by the time we're starting this.
Yeah, I remember we ended the final round one around like 11, and that honestly was pretty lucky because that top cut went by pretty fast.
Yeah, I think if we would have started, luckily our starting time was one,
Yeah,
which
yeah, I
was
know the Jacksonville one has been pushed back to starting at noon now, just because there's gonna be so many people.
yeah. I was considering going to an Ohio one on Sunday, but I think I have other plans now, which is really unfortunate. But overall, that's how my tournament went. That's how like my rounds went. Overall, the field was really interesting. There was zero King of the Monsters, which was fortunate for me. Some of the coolest decks bubbled out because it's a cruel world that we live on.
Yeah, yeah, we I kind of had the same thing happen in final round where like there was like a an Armin the AOT2 Armin that was on the bubble and
Oh,
had really
I
bad
need to know.
breakers.
I need to know how that deck got there. I need to
That deck
know.
is sick. That's one of my teammates Anna has been playing that deck for like a long time. That deck is crazy cool.
Hey, I mean, Braden tried to make that deck work so hard. That's why I just looked at the list. That makes a lot more sense. My friend, my friend and teammate Braden, he only plays control decks.
Based.
That's all he plays, which leads to anything being more like aggressive. Like I'm trying so hard to get him to play more aggressively because there's certainly games where you just have to do it.
Yeah, yeah, that was I from my Rodan experience last year. There's definitely games where you draw your hand and you're like, well, I got to kill him on turn 3, I guess.
It just has to happen.
Yeah.
But like at ours, we had a Reiner 3 bubble out, which was really
Yeah,
unfortunate.
we all I think there was also a Reiner 3 on the bubble at final round. That deck is kind of scary.
Reiner 3, there was a Kiske, which is
Mm.
which was Aiden Lecoyer, the
Oh, okay.
top 8 at
Gotcha.
Worlds. Um, he decided to throw by playing that deck.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
we had Chris Miner on JJ. So probably kind of a similar situation.
yeah, like he lost to a Mikasa one, and then also he talked so much trash about how good his Zeke one matchup was, and then got rolled in the Ditto. They he My teammate also offered to ID because they're both teammates,
Mhm.
but he was like, "No, I got this," and then just gets
Yeah.
absolutely smoked. And then another one of my teammates was on Space Godzilla right under two,
Oh,
which
okay,
is
yeah.
really unfortunate. That was like the early O2 climb through losers bracket basically,
Yeah.
which is just unfortunate that it happens in tournaments.
Mhm.
But overall, the event went really well, except starting late. And also we didn't have our promos in time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
And
I
then
did hear about that too.
and then I went to the store today to pick up the promos. Right, we didn't get sent enough participation promos.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't.
I saw you posting about that.
I don't have a Queen of the Monsters. I'm really upset about it. I only have my Heat Rays. And in all honesty, I really wanted the Queen of the Monsters way more
Yeah,
than the
yeah,
Heat Rays.
I would definitely trade some of my heat rays for some of this Queen of the Monsters if I wasn't set up to get them all from all the LCs, because
It's
that one's definitely super sick.
it's like actually ridiculous that we got only sent one kit for a 23% LC that was already the kit already came late.
Hmm.
Um I think that's nuts. If anybody's at UVS Games is listening to this, please fix that. I it's really rough that the TO just decided that um everybody deserves something. So
Mhm.
top four got what top four or top eight got just the top eight promos. I got my map, but I kind of want those Queen of the Monsters because I was planning on playing them
Yeah.
in decks like soon,
Yeah.
hopefully. Just especially like because I also share promos and stuff with some of my teammates. The monster deck needs them.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That card is definitely one that like I personally was borrowing some of mine for final round, and I'll be borrowing some for Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's like a 20-25 dollar card, and then the promo's probably gonna end up being like $40.
Hmm.
And I would like to have the promos that I had to play for, but uh hopefully that will get solved at a somewhat soon date.
Hmm.
I don't know what the problem was about the promos not getting sent or not sending enough. Luckily, it's my local, and I don't have to deal with
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it getting like
like
mailed to you and stuff.
yeah, because we had some players that are gonna have it mailed to them,
Hmm.
which just sucks, you know.
Yeah, yeah. One of the LCs I went to last year, I had to have that happen.
And overall, the event went like smoothly, like the it ran smoothly after UGN didn't work, but starting an hour and a half late is rough, especially for those out of town folks.
Hmm.
Like it's we want this bigger event, right? We establish these things as like mini regionals, even, but we're saying these are mini regionals with the tournament software not letting us start an hour and a half early. And
Yeah.
most people don't end up getting hotel rooms for this. It's not like the stores are renting out hotel blocks unless you're the trading post,
Yeah.
putting like $2,500 on the line or whatever. Um, but you have this you have this structure, and it's kind of unacceptable that we are starting an hour and a half late trying to use your own tournament software. We were loading up another tournament software just so we could run the games.
Yeah, I definitely
And
could talk at length about it, just even just with the LCs alone, how many problems UGN has had.
I mean also like not getting the promos on time for these this feels like a very easy to fix thing. Just like send them out earlier. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
possible.
yeah. That
I
definitely that definitely feels bad for these events that people want. Like if you're trying to get everybody to travel for them, and then the kits aren't there, that definitely sucks.
or I mean, we're also talking about not getting enough kits
Yeah, that too.
because I mean I agree with the TO. I'm fine that everybody else should get something for going. Like I understand that philosophy.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah, but
not
like you still participated in the tournament.
yeah, and it was part of the promotional stuff too
Hmm.
that I would end up getting at least this card.
Yeah, I
And now
definitely hope Levi or whoever gets on top of that and gets y'all another kit for that.
yeah, but it also leads me to questions. I I feel like we're doing we're counting round 1 and round 2 as separate big events, right? It's like a whole new regional cycle.
Hmm.
But from what I've heard, we're using the same promos,
Yes, yes, it'll be the same probos for round one and round two.
which just feels weird that we're counting these things as big regionals and big like expressions of the game, but we don't have these updated promos
Yeah,
because there's cards in the set that are like I'm sure you could do amazing art. The art is fantastic overall in this set,
yeah,
but like a sacred guardian alt art, like how where the destructive heat rays were, oh, it would be so hype. Or like a mechanical monster.
Yeah,
And then
I do think the one saving grace there is that these promos are fantastic. Like I think there's
correct.
very few people who will complain about, oh man, I guess I'm stuck with more Queen of the Monsters, you know.
Yeah.
But
If it
I
was
do agree that it would be better if we got new ones.
yeah, if we were back to like Donnie's bow staff, we would I think there'd be
Yeah,
uh more problems that would be afoot. But overall, I do like the new system. It's way better than the old LC system. It just would be helpful if the things that worked, like how we got our LC pricing on time last seasons, and
yeah.
how
I'm
the
really hoping by the next round we get everything smoothed out because I do think that these events can be like everything that they want them to be and just be this really cool celebration of the game at a local level that still gives you that sort of regional vibe. Um,
yeah, it's what one thing that I was always bummed out about is that I could never really travel to that many regionals because I'm a college kid,
mhm.
and before that was a high kid playing the
Yeah.
game. So I didn't have money to go to like another state or even like the ability to like book a hotel room. I'm hoping I can go to Chicago.
Okay.
Where
Yeah. I will be
here's
at
hoping.
Chicago.
Here's hoping that I'll be at Chicago. What will I play? I will probably end up being biollante. But
Yeah, that's originally when I got my invite, like when I won finals, the first thing I said was I'm so excited to play Jank, but like as I've been doing more testing, I've honestly been having a ton of fun with Titan of Terror and I'm kind of want to, like I won that event and now I kind of want to run it back and see how much farther I can take it.
yeah, I cooked up a Jamie and a Keyleth list that I kind of want to try out, but
Yeah, I'm
these
pretty much in the exact same boat. I've got these other decks. I'm like, man, it would be so much fun to play these, but also,
uh, but you see the mechanical monsters are really cool.
yeah,
That card is so funny.
yeah, that
I
is
love
definitely one of
I
the
love
good
six diff two
ones.
check. I love six diff two check. It's so that card seems like it's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah.
But I also one of my dreams has been to get my face on a card eventually, and we now have backups, so
Yeah,
I
the
don't have to just
backups
straight
for
up win
the
world.
regional winners. I do. I'm hoping one day I can make a fighter jets with two T's.
Oh, wait, with health,
Yeah, and with stamina, that would be nice.
that would be nice. But one thing that might be my most controversial take is that I think we need to bring back webcam regionals.
Okay, I
Um,
wasn't there for those, but I would definitely be down for a webcam. I just want to play this game more. So.
well, because one thing that because obviously we had the whole cheating scandal, which happened.
Hmm.
There's no denying that that happened, but with webcam regionals, we allow people from around the world to play the game
Yeah.
without having to host events like in-person events in those countries because obviously hosting events is really expensive.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
just that's just a fact of life, and if we can only do 4 regionals, then it I think it makes sense to have it where the player base is concentrated the highest. And I think the LC structure does help, but I feel like it's just not there. Like it's not enough.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And I get how they want Worlds to be like this nice solid round 200 people or whatever. That's what their goal is. It's like 160 from these LCs, 36 from regionals or whatever,
Yeah.
or 32 from
32,
regionals.
I
And
think. Yeah,
yeah,
plus the 8 from Worlds would be exactly 200.
yeah.
And
I
then
just
the
think.
LCQ as well, I guess has some number.
Oh, is there going to be an LCQ?
Yeah, the day 0 is a single elimination bracket and I guess however many rounds if you're undefeated you get to play in Worlds day 1.
Oh, I wonder if that's just to fill out the last 200, the 200 slots that people didn't show up for.
Yeah, that I think that might end up being what it is.
Yeah, I just think we have this format, and I think uh, online regional, like a webcam regional, is what we really need to like even if like this would allow the more foreign if we had two, and there are the times for them that would work.
Yeah, for
Like,
the EU and the Oceania players.
yeah, because I remember in Odro 2 meta back when the dinosaurs ruled the earth, there was an OCE regional, and there was a ton of US players in that tournament
Hmm.
that just woke up at like what 3, 4 in the morning,
Yeah,
or
to
just stayed up all
mhm.
night just to play in this tournament. And it just seems like a more cost effective way, but that's just me getting on my soapbox. I just play biollante. Deck's cool.
Yeah, this deck is cool. I definitely I messed with this character for quite a bit when I first started my testing, and this is I think definitely not a direction that a lot of people would start with, but it is certainly a very solid way to go, and I think you've got obviously, I mean, you won the event. You've got a pretty good grasp on what you're doing. If you have any like final thoughts you want to share.
No, I just want to thank my team, the Bubble Bottom Boys. Uh, we we kind of tear up Indiana. That's kind of what we do.
Hell
We have
yeah.
me, Aiden's our newest member. He joined right before Worlds. Really good time to pick him up.
Oh, yeah, yeah, definitely.
Except he didn't know how to change his tag on UGN, but that's another problem for another day.
Oh, okay.
uh, but yeah, we plan on hopefully going to events and showing ourselves as a team.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There's all these teams that are really big, like Let's Talk UVS and Final Round, and then we're kind of just we're kind of similar to Couple in a way that we're mostly location based.
Yeah. Okay.
I really wish I could go to the Couple regional because or the Couple LC because then I'd finally be the one invading an LC because I've ended up having to protect the home turf uh more than once.
Yeah.
And I think I do like this new LCC system. Universe is a really good card game. I've played a lot of them, and I keep coming back to this one. It
Yeah,
seems.
I'm pretty much in the same boat. Playing this game is the most fun I've had playing card games probably ever. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, it's just too good. I can't get away from it.
Mhm.
But I hope the problems that need to be solved are solved. Hopefully, I'll get my Queen of the Monsters someday. Maybe
Yeah.
then I can try Dan Buchanan's list. Uh, because I never tested it. I was like, I'm not getting queens in time, and I'm
Yeah,
not getting
fair.
protected busters in time.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, congratulations on your win, and thank you for sitting here and yapping with me
Yes,
about your cool
I love
Biolante
yapping
deck.
so much. It's so much fun. If you see any of my interviews I've ever done, it's just yapping. Like at Louisville, I just yapped.
Yeah. If you can't tell by the few videos on my channel, I too love to talk at length about this card game.
Yes. Well, it's just so good. How can you not, right?
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
I appreciate what you do. I love when people when people get content out there for this game. I mean, there's only one way to grow it,
Hmm.
and I'm just I'm not that type of creative. I'm not that type of artistic.
Yeah, I get you.
I do
It's
choir, I do theater. Just like I I kind of want to try making content, but it's so overbearing.
yeah, I think I mean when I was at World or yeah, Dean from the MJLA, he gave me some good advice of like just sit down and like do it, man. You don't gotta worry about it too much. You can just kind of just get started and really like I mean, my first video was me talking at a wall about Rodan for 2 hours and people seem to like that all right. So, I think it's a lot more just kind of get started and you'll be surprised what you can put out there cuz I
Oh
definitely
yeah.
didn't expect to be to be doing this as much as I did, but it really is I think even though I'm not necessarily getting like tons of views or whatever, it is still rewarding in its own way.
Yeah, I think I want to start doing more deck profiles, especially with the like influx of events we have now, because these LCs feel actually important.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely want to try and grab as many people from LCs as I can to do these because it
Yeah,
is
I was watching your video and I was like, "Oh, yes, this is perfect. I love yapping."
Yeah, alrighty. Well, yeah. Thank you for coming out and spending. Oh, we hit the hour mark, so everybody's gonna be happy. That seems to be
Oh,
the
yeah.
bar. We've
That's
hit
the
the hour mark, so
that's the
it's
money mark,
officially
right?
A Jet Kaufman video. But
Well,
yeah, thanks
thank
for
you
coming out.
for having me.
Of course. And if you win any other ones, I'd love to have you back.
I would love for that to happen. Maybe I'll
Awesome.
be playing something else. Maybe I'll just keep playing Biollante. We'll see.
Alrighty. Well, yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.